After they have their fight, Rin and Naja, she walks off knowing that this fight is different from others and there is no coming back from it. I do think that Rin thinks that she's right. When you have an argument, everyone thinks they're right. It does take maturity and just sensitivity to see both sides of the story. Naja has been very patient with her throughout the series, so I don't know why she can't do the same thing. In the audiobook, she sounds really angry and spiteful, so it's hard to be on her side a lot of the time. When she starts to go over her conversation with Naja, I'm already annoyed. And what she starts to think about just takes me over the top. Rin's like, yes, Naja was hurt, but haven't we all been hurt? Naja was forcibly taken by this thing and it did whatever it wanted to him. That in itself says a lot. That to me, this thing took advantage of a very young boy. And I do think it does sound sexually as well. He also saw his brother get eaten in front of him and he couldn't do anything about it because he was so scared and enchanted. I honestly don't think Rin watching Alton get tortured beats Naja's experience. I hate to compare stories because both of these experiences are very traumatic, but it feels like Rin is brushing off Naja's pain. She's like, get over it. Rin brushes off her experiences and she's telling Naja to do the same thing. That is not healthy. We know Rin is not a healthy character, and a lot of characters tend not to be the healthiest. Naja has shown signs of maturity in my eyes by being patient with Rin, apologizing to Rin when he bullied her at school, by acknowledging Kid Tai and his brilliancy. He has matured in my eyes. Rin says that she got stronger with her pain versus Naja, who can't get over it and calls him pathetic. The audiobook makes it sound so much more worse. In this heated moment, I understand that things are said that you don't mean, or things that you just wish you can take back. So I'm gonna give Rin some leeway here. I don't think that Rin's traumatic experiences make her stronger. I would hope it could make her into a understandable person, but her mindset is get over it and grow up. And that's such a sad opportunity for RF Kwan. She could have matured up in this moment, but if RF Kwan's motivation is for Rin to be motivated through trauma, then I guess this is what she wanted, what RF Kwan wanted. Thinking about Rin's conversation with Naja and her anger towards him, would you give this advice to someone you really care about? I would never tell them to get over and grow up. She gets to the site, and one of the things I do like about RF Kwan's writing is moments with the psych and their little huddles together. The way she describes what they're doing is it's so comical. It's really homey. It's nice. Baji and Ramsa are playing dice, and Sumi is watching to make sure Ramsa is not cheating. It's such a cute description. I really love it. When Rin walks in, Baji asks who made her cry. It's such a cute dynamic. They've always had this really respectable relationship towards each other, or Baji has always shown somewhat of a very, I think Baji treats her like a little sister, and I really like that dynamic that they have. Rin says Naja, and Ramsa is like, do you want me to put a missile in his toilet? The psych are always looking after Rin, so it's hard for me to see Rin forget about them. Rin gives them a rundown of what happened with the twins. Of course, they're upset that Chagan was a spy, but they're not mad at Quara, which is pretty funny. They say, I never liked Chagan, but not Quara. Rin learns that there are a bunch of refugees coming into Arlong. Rin wants to go see, but is told that they are very strict in who comes in and who goes out. But Rin is cocky. She says, I'm the spiritly. I don't give a rat's butt. And I tell myself to be patient when she's cocky. The refugee camp is not a pretty sight. It smells, there's a bunch of flies, and it's a lot of people. Ramsa says that they're coming from the south. They are running away from the militia and the Federation. Daji made a deal with them. Now they have a problem of facing a war on both ends. And it takes you back to book one, thinking of Rin destroying the island and how destroying the island didn't do the much help that she wanted it to, or she thought it would do. When we get further into the book, we see how unfair war is and how cruel it is. When she learns that the refugees are from the South Providence, she rushes in. She starts to be nostalgic of the dark skin, the dialect. She has forced change over the past few years, so the South is no longer a part of her, which is sad because who is she and where does she belong? She's from the Rooster Providence, but she's a Spearly, so her dark skin could be confusing as to where she really belongs or comes from. She's also made herself change to fit into Synagard. So who does Rin want to be? When she comes back to her roots, she's kind of lost because she doesn't belong there. She doesn't belong in the Rooster Providence anymore. Maybe she never really belonged there. And she would never truly belong at Synagard. Rin is searching for her tutor, and for me, it shows her humanity. She cares for him, and it's nice when she cares about someone. It really shows this other side of her. Unfortunately, she doesn't find him, but instead finds Kasegi, her adopted little brother. He's a lot taller, and I like the memories that it brings back. Maybe not Rin's memories, but our memories of book one, where she really tried to, she loved him, but she couldn't get too attached to him, which is sad. After she sees her little brother, he tells her that father has passed away by choice. She doesn't feel anything. Servant-master relationship, as she describes it. She does see her aunt again, and she has a lot of physical changes, of course. Her aunt calls her a war hero, which is interesting. I never imagined her as a war hero, but it makes sense. I get it. Her aunt is as cruel as the day she met her. Rin stutters her response to her because her aunt is still unkind. This brings up childhood memories for Rin, when just a few minutes ago, she was calling herself a Spearly who doesn't give a rat's butt. She finds out that the refugees are not given anything, and she's very surprised by this. It shows how blinded she was by the lights, by Viceroy's vision, his command. She's high in rank, so she's given food and clothing. Her phoenix makes her important, and it's a huge realization for me to see that she is someone and she's being taken care of. And it makes me understand why she's so scared to become no one. But her attitude throughout the book really still makes me not like her. And the way her aunt is acting, she's demanding food. She's demanding to be taken care of. Her aunt says, "You owe us this." It kind of shows that maybe this is where Rin learned to be demanding as well. This shows that she was taught, or this is what she observed while growing up. So when I see her more unlikable attitude, it could come from the aunt. That is where she learned it from. While she's talking to her aunt, she is just railing her about raising her for 16 years. Rim is flabbergasted and says, "You tried to sell me." Her aunt responds, "Yeah, and you would have had a better life than any of us." all you really had to do is sleep with the guy, and then you would have had food, shelter, everything. But you had to be special and run off to synagogue. Rin is so dumbfounded by this and says that her life has not been easy and that she has lost her friends, which I agree. Her life has not been easy. It's unfortunate that for a woman, even in today's modern time, to have everything or to be considered safe is to marry a man. Most of the time, an older man. Rin didn't want that, and she saw a way out. And I'm really proud of this character for choosing to get out. Like, she found a way and she did it, and that's awesome. A lot of people don't have that opportunity. And the fact that Rin is clever, she didn't fully understand the text that she was reading, but she could memorize them to a certain point. If I was in Rin's shoes here, I know I am not as clever as Rin. Given the opportunity, I would definitely marry to save my family and to save myself. There's so many conditions to this, but I totally understand why Rin didn't want that. Rin tells her aunt that her life hasn't been easy. Rin continues to say, I've lost people. And the aunt throws it back at her face and says, we all lost people. You are not special. It reflects back to her conversation with Naja. She said the exact same thing to his experience. He's not special just because he was abused as a child. We've all been hurt. When Rin is being put in her place, it not only makes me happy, but it shows that Arif Kwan is also putting her in her place. Her aunt is just a mean lady, a bitter, jaded person. Rin can't really defend herself against her, and it also reflects how Naja couldn't defend himself against his brother and father. Rin starts to leave and has some pride, so she doesn't just start running away. Her brother goes after her, and Rin wants him to say something to make her stay. I don't know why she says that, because why would you want to be in this really bad environment? And the fact that you don't really like your aunt. For me, you don't need an excuse to see Kasei again. But her brother asks for a blanket, which I don't see anything wrong either. If I had food to give to my family, I will give it to them because I love them. With her aunt's attitude, she can suck it. So Rin, you have my approval to turn your back on her. Rin and Venka are doing some duties together and find a infant that is unalive. Venka is disgusted by it versus Rin, who's worried about it. Rin sees that it's still alive and gives it to a soldier to take care of. Venka is quiet about it and snaps at Rin to tell her what she's thinking. Rin knew that Venka knew that the baby was alive. Venka said it has no future. This is Venka's new reality. She has been through a lot, and seeing an unalive baby is something she's seen before. So she's already traumatized and jaded by this sight. Rin says, you were going to end it. But I don't know why she's talking to Venka like this, because she literally burned down a whole island. Maybe she should look at what she's done instead of pointing out what others are doing or have done. We get a surprise visitor who was sent by the Empress. This person presents Viceroy plus company Dumplings. They have gone bad, which is obvious, and we find out that the dumplings are Jinza. I didn't like him, so I don't really care, but I do like the shock factor it gives, and I'm going to give Daji extra points for being very creative. Rin is ordered to get rid of the messenger, and she totally misses. They also find a letter by Daji saying that she's coming to get them, and they are all going to lose. Typical villain monologue. With Daji coming, a lot of the warlords are very worried and threaten to go home, but they need the dragon support, so they have to stay. While in a war meeting, Viceroy is making some decisions that pushes people under the bus. One of them being the South. Naja disagrees with him and speaks up about it. Visor is telling him to be quiet, but Naja stands up to his father and speaks his mind. I feel so proud of Naja because he's so scared of his father, but he also respects his father. So for him to stand up to him, it's like a new level that he just stepped up, in my opinion. And Visor is all about discipline, and he would hit those who fight back. So I'm proud of Naja for standing up for what he believes is unfair. And it starts to set him up into hopefully a strong leader down the line. No one is agreeing with him. He tries to find support in Rin. No matter how much she tries to deny it, she is Visor's henchman. And I love the difference between these two characters. It really sets him up nicely for book 3. And Rin snaps at him for I'm just doing my job. You should do your job as well. And I promise those words, everything, her attitude towards Naja in this moment comes back to bite her in the ass later on. Rin is heading off. She's leaving. And she's leaving Kitai behind. And she's worried that she won't be there to protect him. If Kitai is her, Rin is her, and vice versa. So I understand maybe Rin is worried about that. I do believe that her worrying over Kitai is very genuine. She truly cares for his safety. She has always cared for him. You don't scream someone's name for days like she did at Golden East. Kitai reassures her. It's so sweet, and it does feel like two couples saying goodbye. I totally support their platonic relationship, but it's so unfortunate that it's nothing more than that. I absolutely ship these two, and it brings Rin's best side. Rin has decided to melt her trident for her sword. Such a relief to see her letting go of Alten, finally. The blacksmith is telling her this is a quality trident. There won't be anyone else who can copy it. And Rin says yes. She does act a little too nonchalantly for me, but this is good considering how much she was so attached to Alten. I'm very proud of her for letting go, and it's very much needed for her. After Rin and Ramsa blow up a ship, it's pretty comical and very sweet when they hold each other's hand. When she returns with the psych, she's looking in the direction where Naja is. There's a lot of commotion going on in his direction. Baji asks what's wrong. Rin basically says she's worried about Naja and that she's always worried about him. And in my opinion, in my head, I'm screaming, why did you pick a fight with him? He told you something so delicate and meaningful, and you just had to push your ideals onto him. Like, why? Why can't you have a civil conversation with him the way you have these conversations with Kitai? Now, both of you aren't speaking. You can't or you won't say bye to him. There is a part of me that feels bad for her, but you shouldn't pick a fight with your friends like she did with Naja. I wish she was more supported towards Naja like she is with Kitai. But Baji calls it love, and she's so immature when she says, don't be disgusting. It's like, come on, Rin. Do we have to play Hercules here? It's so obvious. And I just want to tell her, grow up, Rin, and you know it's true. Baji gives his opinion about why Rin is here in this war, and it's because of Naja. And that's quite interesting. I don't think that's true. I do believe she's there for vengeance and a need for a leader, a handler, aka Visora. She does say she's there for the Republic, but it's an interesting take as to why she might still be lingering in this war. Rin asks Baji why he is still here. Why is he staying? He says that when she was gone, Sumi and him were thinking about splitting, either on their own or together. For me, it does show loyalty for Rin because they kind of linger on, probably waiting for her. It's also a need for chaos. They need that chaos. It's sad what a life of a shaman is. I would never choose to become one. I understand why someone would choose to become a shaman, but they've been saying this since book one. You either head to the mountain or you go out in battle. It's such a crappy life. I am so understandable with Naja because he doesn't want it. And I totally I understand that. I get it. Ramza sees something in the distance and it's the Imperial fleet. It's big enough that it scares the three of them. Rin automatically admits defeat and I'm just like, aren't you this fearly? Where is that cockiness? And you always glow about your powers and you're already on your knees. It's kind of funny. We find out that the Snake Providence has switched sides. He gave a letter to Visera, basically said that Visera has brought down destruction that wasn't needed. Moving on, Rin now has 2 swords since there was some extra left from the trident. She is surprised as to why she never used a sword before. She trained with one, she fought with one, and using the trident was just so stupid. I don't know why she's so surprised. The way things are written in this book frustrate me so much. You know why you held on to the trident. You refuse to listen to anybody when they try to tell you to use a different weapon. You listen to Visera. Visera Alton technically gave you that sword. Naja told you not to do it. I'm pretty sure Kittai told you not to do it. It's just so ridiculous when she's like, I'm so surprised. Why didn't I never used the sword before? It's like, why are you surprised? But regardless of my annoyance, I am happy that she's breaking out of a Alton mindset. She's so much more stronger without him. She also thinks about Nasha giving her this advice, which also makes me think why she wanted a sword. I think subconsciously she wanted a sword is because she totally missed the kill with the Dumpling Man. And maybe it was a sign from the universe saying you weren't meant for a trident and you weren't meant to be by Visera's side. Kasegi gets Rin's attention and draws her away into this warehouse to meet the remaining warlords. They want to go back home and fight their enemies on their own turf. I do hate the warlords. They are the biggest cowards and don't want to save their own people. They only want to save themselves. Rin does get another golden nugget of information of Visera and the Esperians here. How they are manipulating this war for their own benefit. Rin is in denial, as she always is. They also explain how Visera's wife was tucked away in a Esperian ship. The Esperians knew what was happening during the Poppy War 1 and 2, and there was no way that they wouldn't know what was going on. All the warlords are pressuring her into joining them because she's one of them, which is ridiculous to say that to her face. Rin has every right to be upset, and she remembers that she met them and they all dismissed her. They try to flatter her by saying the South will rise with you, which is funny in book 3. You'll be a goddess. I'm glad that Rin is not falling for it. She also knows that she'll be a traitor. One of the warlords knows that she's thinking about her friends, and he tells her that she will never be one of them. Rin denies it, but they keep pressuring her and tell her, you're still mud, which is what she said to Naja. Personally, I wouldn't be insulted. I am who I am. My roots are my roots. Rin, on the other hand, doesn't like her southernness, not because of color, but because she never found kindness there. When she entered Synagard, she changed to become a proper student. Then she became a Spearly. Now she's a war hero. So who is she? Who does she want to be? In a cruel way, the warlords are reminding her that she's still mud. The warlords are insulting Rin, flattering her. They need her. And the way they're going about it is ridiculous. And Rin is over it. She very much says F you guys and F what you guys want. When she has every right to do so. She owes them nothing. But I will say that she has them cornered. She can ask for almost anything. Is this a missed opportunity for her? I'm going to say yes. I think she should have kept her cool, even though it's hard because they are not kind people. She has to be careful with being a traitor, bringing this information to Kid Tai. I personally would just tell them, hold on a sec, and run to Kid Tai and discuss our next steps. It's understandable why she turned her back to them, though. I understand that. Plus, her feelings are hurt, and she's pretty sensitive when her feelings are hurt. But I do think this is a missed opportunity for her. Rin does relish in this power position, and the warlords have the audacity to threaten her. Ugh. Rin and Kasegi are walking back. Kasegi does confront Rin about abandoning him, why she never wrote. There are two sides of the story here. Rin was an adopted sister, and I understand why she didn't want to get attached to him. On the other hand, Kasegi was so young, and he did get attached, and he wouldn't know how not to get attached. I always see Rin as a selfish person. That's why I admire her relationship with Kid Tai. And it does make me wonder if she only cares about people who can give her something in return. Rin tells Kasegi that she thought it would be easier to not write, a clean slate. That is true, but Rin is never fully truthful to herself. I didn't mean to burn down the island. I'm okay with being a foot soldier. And now with Kasegi. Although I am harsh on Rin, I don't blame her for not writing. I understand why she wanted to cut connections. So this moment with her brother, it's really hard, and I don't see a right or wrong answer here. When she's coming back from walking Kasegi, she encounters a poor young girl being attacked by an experienced soldier. A lot of things go through her head. I think this is one of the first time she's seen something very sexual. It's annoying hearing her inner dialogue because I'm screaming, do something. She does do something, and which will bite her in the butt later on. It feels a bit tricky because everything that Rin has done, she gets in trouble because of this moment. She has done so many things wrong, but when she does something right, she gets in trouble for it. When she does something morally right, she gets in trouble for it. Rin does tell Kid Tai about the warlords, and he takes it pretty casual. He's more mad at the fact that Rin burned the experienced soldier, which is frustrating as a Kid Tai fangirl. But he understands that he's wrong and that he's just scared. It's them versus the world now. Kid Tai finally asks the important question about what exactly did the warlords say. Rin explains, Visor and the Esperians are working together to overthrow the empire. Visor didn't step into the Poppy War because he wanted the country weakened. Kid Tai knew this was a possibility, but was naive to think it was ever going to happen. Rin was also naive about it. Now that they are thinking about it together, they are starting to understand that this war isn't as innocent as they thought. Finally, they're getting the bigger picture, and Rin will only listen to Kid Tai. She won't listen to anyone else. Rin is starting to realize that Visor played her, and everyone around him. Enter Chagan, Daji, the warlords, who also warned her against him and the Esperians. I think it took her too long to figure that out. Rin is a clever girl, but she's blinded by this cause. In a way, selfishly, because she brought in the psych. So now they are in danger because of her, in danger of the Esperians and Visera. Of course, if Rin is getting blamed, I also have to blame Kid Tai. They are a day late and $1 short. Kid Tai shows Rin what he and Ramsa have been working on. It's Da Vinci-like. They made her wings to fight Phelan. She's testing them out, and there's a moment when she feels comfortable flying in the air. It feels like a defying gravity moment because it is. She feels so complete and it's quiet. She says a lot of insightful things that I don't really follow, but she does come to a point where she does have a alphaba moment where she says, no one is going to bring me down. No Esperian is going to bring me down. It's a little laughable, only because I prefer alphaba saying it, but she's going to get a very sad reality check later down the line. When she comes back down to earth, literally, she's having this wonderful moment with Kitai. It's so heartwarming. I love it. Their relationship doesn't feel platonic sometimes. It feels so much more deeper. I know they have this bond now, but I've always known they had this special bond, especially in book 1. You just don't scream someone's name for days. And she did that in Golden Knees, and she would not have stopped until she found him or his body. And it makes me want to like shatter her. And I'm just like, Rin, why are you after Alton? Why are you pining after Nasha? Why are you starstruck with Visera? Do you see Kitai at all as a potential partner? You are so blind when it comes to men. And she tells him she loves him. Kitai says, I know. You can, of course, trace it back to Star Wars. And even though it doesn't sound romantic, it's very romantic. I know that they are just platonic characters. And I do support it. I love their friendship. I love that Rin knows what love is because of Kitai. When they sober up, they both start to get scared because of the experience. Kitai has always stepped up and tells her that they will figure it out where no one will touch them anymore. Ugh! Kitai is such a man. I love him. Rin goes up to Venka while she's shooting her arrows. And she's excellent. Rin gives her a special bow. It's a Catrayid bow. I love the fact that Rin is respectful to their true name. Venka is sad that she's not allowed onto the battlefield, so Rin decides to offer her a spot on the scythe. I absolutely love it. Rin understands Venka's need to fight and to be useful. They both have been trained for this. Venka is being coddled and she doesn't want that. Rin is able to give her an opportunity to fight. One of my favorite tropes is inviting someone to a group that doesn't really belong. Venka is not a shaman, but I think she'll be an excellent asset. I love that Venka calls her commander. During a war meeting, one of Visera's generals defect. They all know that Daji has the number and they don't. Visera instructs Rin to get rid of the pirate queen. The reason why, because she will not follow Visera's orders, as well as her being a drug smuggler, which he will not tolerate. Overall, she doesn't look good for Visera. He wants the Esperians, and they are all about proper, quotation marks, looks. Rin actually starts to question him in a defined way. She is starting to ask questions to his orders, which is what Nasha did in the war room. She talks to Kitai and they discuss their next steps. I'm glad that Rin has Kitai, and now that she's serious about the scythe, she's thinking of ways to escape. So she writes to the Pirate Queen, which is such great thinking on her end.